First question, respected Commander Abdelaziz, how it's now situation on front lines?
Yeah, at least on the Nuba Mountains front line, the ruling National Congress Party under President Omar Bashir is still attacking its own citizens. It is still plundering the area, looting the properties of the civilians in form of cattle, destroying the crops, and the aerial bombardment, the airs to surface missiles are still shelling our positions, and especially the civilian villages, ground attacks targeting the civil population. So the war is still raging, and the SPLM, SPLA, North, and SRF are defending the civilians and the innocent people in these areas.
Do you still believe in possibility of implementation of comprehensive peace agreement?
But the CPA was scrapped by President Bashir since 2011, and it is no longer relevant. Yes, the CPA is a very valuable document. It contains a lot of values, a lot of directions and guidelines for the change of Sudan, for bringing fundamental change in Sudan, for creating a just peace. But it was scrapped by Bashir, it was ignored, it was violated, it was thrown away. So there is nothing. And we have bypassed, we have already bypassed the CPA, and it is no longer relevant, especially after Khartoum decided to disarm the SPLA, joint integrated units in South Kordofan and Blue Nile. Since that time, nobody is talking about the CPA, nothing about the popular consultation, and all the mechanisms provided by the CPA for the solution of the problem. It has become history. No longer, nobody is talking about CPA anymore.
You said government of Sudan broken 41 agreements done already in the past.
Yes,
do you still believe in negotiating with the government of Sudan?
Yes, in fact, the CPA is not the only victim of the government of Sudan agreements. They have signed more than 43 peace agreements with the various opposition groups, but they did not abide by these agreements. They always violate them. They always throw them away. This is why the country is still under war, and civil war is still going on.
Sudan Revolutionary Front. How the cooperation work? Does the cooperation work well between different
SRF,
freedom fighters?
Sudan Revolutionary Front, is a very viable umbrella for the opposition, Sudanese opposition forces. It has united all the armed factions and the freedom fighters under one umbrella, and now it is attracting more members from the political parties joining the SRF. Umma Party, DUP, under Tomo Križnar, Umma Party under Imam Nasruddin al-Hadi have joined the SRF, and they are now appointed as deputy chairpersons to the SRF. And these belongs to the traditional political parties, and they are now working diligently and very hard to achieve the objectives of the SRF. In fact, SRF is presenting itself now as a substitute to the National Congress Party. We are the alternative to the National Congress Party, and we constitute the, the future of the country. Yeah, we are working for democratic change. We are working for a new Sudan on new basis, where people or different all the diversities are recognized, whether religious, whether cultural, whether lingual, are recognized. This is the SRF. So it is a viable political body, and it is going to replace Bashir. It is going to remove Bashir and lead the country in coordination and cooperation with the other political parties in the country.
And in this SRF, they are freedom fighters from Darfur, Nuba Mountains, Brunei, all the front line.
Yes, SRF was established by 4 armed factions. This is SPLM, SPLA North, then JEM, that is Justice and Equality Movement from Darfur, and SLM, Abdelwahid, SLM, Minni. These are the 4 factions who laid the basis for the SRF, but later on joined by various political forces, various armed groups, like the Bija Congress in the east, like the Nubians in the far north, like Ummah Party under Nasruddin al-Hadi, like the DUP under Tomo Križnar, and many politicians are contacting the headquarters of SRF today, and they are showing readiness to come and join hands, to come and sign the Cauda Declaration, and we continue together and we march towards Khartoum. Internal revolution and marching from the marginalized areas towards the seat of power in Khartoum.
These are the plans. This is the target. This is the orientation.
Yes.
And SRF was established in which month? When it was established in Cauda?
Yeah, it was signed. The declaration was signed in Cauda last August 2011.
Okay. What's your explanation for the Western pressure not to take over Kadugli, as it was reported by Nicholas Christo from New York Times?
Mr. Nicholas is a very good friend, and I really appreciate what he did. He came all along to visit the suffering people, the marginalized people, the oppressed people in Nuba Mountains. But I say that the SPLM North is a free movement, and the SPLA North carried up arms in response to the aggression started by the National Congress Party, by the ruling National Congress Party, by Bashir. We have just reacted, you see, to the violence exercised on us by the central government to defend our own people and also to defend our rights, you see. So we are just acting without any dictation from anybody. And we did not think even of capturing Kadugli. And nobody can dictate anything on us, because we are acting on self-defense, and we have our own plans to bring down the regime in Khartoum so that we get our rights and a just solution. Yeah, so we didn't think about capturing Kadugli. The day we think of it, we are going to attack Kadugli, and we will capture Kadugli. Yes.
what's your comment on UN stand that they treat government of Sudan forces and SPLA North with the same approach. They put you in the same box. They put the victims and perpetrators into the same. They said to you, you have to stop fighting.
Yes, in fact, we welcome the initiative. We welcome the UN Security Council resolution 2046, and we appreciate that resolution, because it is part of the attempts of the international community to put an end to this war. And we are ready to go for dialogue anytime, but at the same time, we have a little observation that the resolution was not fair, and the resolution is equating between the SPLM North, the SRF, and Khartoum region, and the National Congress Party, the terrorist regime in Khartoum. Khartoum, and especially the National Congress Party and President Bashir, is the oppressor. How can you treat the oppressor equally with the oppressed? Khartoum is attacking the marginalized areas for the last 50 years. The civil war is still raging since independence in 1956. How do you equate Khartoum with the SPLM North? At the same time, we in the SPLM North, we believe in a comprehensive solution. We are not for piecemeal solutions anymore, because this had been tested and it failed, and the war is still going on, and it is expanding. Now it has the war is going on, is expanding from Blue Nile, Nuba Mountains, to Darfur, and I am sure if Bashir is still in power, and if the National Congress Party is allowed to continue its old policies, then the war will go up to the north, the far north, up to the eastern Sudan, even in central Sudan, even in Jazeera, and the urban guerrilla will also erupt and will also appear inside Khartoum. So the problem is the National Congress Party. The problem is this exclusion, policies of exclusion, of marginalization of others. Yes, so we have to help the Sudanese people reach a comprehensive peace agreement with organic guarantees this time, so that Khartoum should not renege, should not go back on them. And that a democratic constitution is written with the participation of all the political parties in the country, the civil society groups, all interest groups should be represented in that National Constitutional Conference to decide the future of the country. A secular, democratic country that respect and recognize all the diversities, whether these are ethnic, whether these are religious, whether these are cultural, whether these are lingual, whether these are regional diversities. We have to encourage the Sudanese to do this, to bring them together. And we have to throw the National Congress Party out of power, and they participate as a political party, not as a ruling and as a totalitarian regime. So this is what I want.
The international community up till now didn't succeed to enforce the no-fly zone. No humanitarian corridors has been established. international aid cannot reach the most suffering ones in all these regions on the border. What's your comment on that? How come, why it's possible that in the year 2012 international community have not enough power to force these criminals in Khartoum to allow humanitarian aid will reach the hungry one, the one who couldn't plant the food and they are now suffering too much.
Yes, we appeal to the international community to approach Khartoum to give access so that relief is delivered and handed to the needy people in Nuba Mountains and Blue Nile and even in Darfur. Of course, people are dying because of hunger, because of disease, because of aerial bombardment. So we appeal to the international community, to the UN, to mediate. But Khartoum, and especially Bashir, was adamant, and he refused to give access to the international community to rescue the needy people. Now in Nuba Mountains alone, there are over 700,000 hungry people, suffering people. You see, those internally displaced, and even the hosting communities to these internally displaced are suffering. They run short of food because of the aerial bombardment and because of the shelling, ground attacks. The people were not allowed to cultivate last rainy season. This is why there is shortage of food. So Bashir is using food as a weapon. Bashir is actually allowed to continue the genocidal policies. You see, he started earlier in the south. He have killed 2 million people, and he managed to get away with it. In Darfur, Nuba Mountains, and Blue Nile, he killed also over 1 million in the last 20 years war and in the present war. And he also wants to get away with it, and he is given time and he is allowed to continue the same policies so that he succeed to exterminate all Nuba, all Funj, and all Darfur. We have no power, we cannot dictate the international community, but only thing that we can do and that we know is to defend our civilians against the aggression of Sudan armed forces, against the aggression of this repressive and oppressive military machine of Khartoum.
What we who sympathize with you openly can do, we without any political agenda, without any business agenda, we who just are aware that racism is the basis of these relationships in Sudan and culture of slave trade. What Tomo Križnar can do now to help you more as a media man, as a writer, as a filmmaker?
Yes, actually, we appreciate what you did earlier as eyes and ears of the Nuba people, because you managed to expose the crimes of Bashir against humanity and against the Nuba people. This lynching of innocent civilians just because of ethnicity, just because of political affiliation, because they are SPLM, SPLA, or because they are SRF. So you did an excellent job in exposing the crimes committed by the National Congress Party, and we want more. We want more. We want you to advocate for humanitarian intervention to rescue the lives of hundreds of thousands of women and children and elderly who are now going hungry. You see. And we want you also to make the international community understand that Bashir is using food as a weapon. He's using drugs and medicine as a weapon to exterminate peoples, indigenous peoples, to exterminate the Sudanese peoples, to exterminate his own citizens in the name of ideology, in the name of Islam. So more advocacy, more media activities to expose the crimes of the regime.
Yes, we will bring it more cameras now, more computers and more satellite modems. So your
Excellent.
people can send independently to the international media. Whatever will be happening, you can record. You can record bombardments, you can record suffering from starvation, no painkillers, whatever. This
Yeah,
is
appreciate that. Appreciate that.
great, 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 great. What do you think about the radio? There is an idea to support you also with the extension of a radio station which already operates in Kauda.
Yeah, the radio station is good because it is going to educate the people. It is going to educate the innocent civilians how to take cover against the Antonov high-altitude bombers, Antonov airplanes, when they just throw bombs on the villages, on the markets, on the community places, water points. Yeah, so it is useful for civic education. It is useful also for political awareness, because most of our people are used by Bashir because of deception. So that they carry up arms to fight the SPLM, SPLA, the SRF against their own interests. So we need also to enlighten them. We need also to orient them. We need also to make them aware of what is going on and what Bashir is intending to do against them. So the radio is welcome if it is available.
I think I asked most of the questions I have, but is it anything that you wish to say to international community from your heart, from your mind, that I didn't ask it you?
Yes, in fact, we in the SRF and the SPLM, SPLA North are doing our best in order to unite the opposition against the National Congress Party, and the SRF and the Kauda Declaration was the first step. We want to go in this direction in order to bring all the peaceful means of struggle for the change of the regime and the armed factions together under the SRF, so that we combine, you see, the armed struggle with the peaceful means, especially peaceful political means of struggle. Through strikes, intifada, or popular uprising, we combine the two so that we bring down this regime and pave the way for a new constitution, democratic, secular constitution for the country, so that we pave the way for just peace, a lasting peace in this country. Because 50 years of civil war is enough. We want also to lead normal life like other nations in the world. This is what I want to ask and to request all the political forces to unite. We want all the civil society organizations also to support the opposition against this totalitarian regime, against Bashir, who is wanted, who is indicted by the ICC, but is still in power, and he is doing everything to destroy the Sudanese people so that the National Congress Party continue to rule.
I intend next 2 weeks to spend with your people in Nuba Mountains. My plan is to fly to Ida camp and first film the refugees and then sneak into the liberated areas with the help of commercial or SPLA forces. You think is it safe for me to go now to Kauda and to Tacho and to the top of the mountains and film it, the war situation, the suffering, the fasting people?
Mr. Tomo, you are one of us. You are a Nuba of the Cho tribe. and you have been with us for the last 15 years.
Yes.
And you are welcome anytime. And all the Nuba troops, at least one battalion from the Cho tribe will escort you to protect you against Bashir and against the forces of sinister of the Sudan armed forces.
Okay.
So you are welcome anytime. You go anywhere you like.
Good, good.
Yes, and you will have the protection, the support, and the sympathy of all the Nuba people, and especially the Tacho people. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.